Hey heroes, Cody here, your blue-collar worker from Texas talking comics. So let's talk comics. This is ComicsDown. Let's get into it. Today we have the Man of Steel, #1. This is where Bendis takes off, so let's see what he's got to offer. First off, the cover. I like Reese's cover here. It has the whole Justice League on there. I think they did that to try to draw people in. The Justice League is not in this book. It's mainly just going over, things with Superman. The weekly Superman event starts here. And this is the beginning. Krypton, many years ago. One thing about this everybody's expecting Bendis just to, I don't know what they were expecting, he would just jump out the gate and just start taking shits on everything. Kill John, kill Lois, take his backstory, turn it into like he came from Krypton and he was a transsexual or something like that. But no, he's putting his toes in before he puts the whole foot in. So he's really easing into this character. There's a high council meeting, and this is that new Superbad. Apparently the guy who actually took out Krypton, and he is Rogol Zar. Very weird word to say. But look, the High Council that approved the destruction of Krypton. Look who's on there. Look at that. The little blue guy himself. One of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Or Guardians of the Universe. I don't really know the rest of these guys. I think this is like a scientist from like Adam, like that planet Adam Strange goes to all the time. Him, the guy on the end here. But other than that, no, I don't really recognize any of these people. And there's Rogol Zar, and he tells them that Krypton needs to be cleansed. The only way for them to he tries to sell him going and killing everyone on Krypton because Krypton is so advanced and that they're going to start, they've already started expanding out into the universe and, and basically taking over other planets, he says. So he sells it to this council that, the only way to stop them is to go and cleanse their, and destroy their planet. I like this little thing, Killer Moth and Firefly, they go and hide in Metropolis. And fucking Killer Moth decides to turn on Firefly. And he's like, "Where's the money? I'm getting out of here. Where's the money?" And of course, and Firefly was like, "Man, he listens for words like that. He's like, nah, he's out of town right now. I'm smarter than that." And of course, Superman's not. You can notice he went back to the traditional Superman suit with the trunks. Everybody's super excited about the trunks. They're like, "Oh yes, underwear on the outside of the pants again." I mean, it is the classic look. This is what I'm excited for. The new Justice League that Snyder's going to be writing. Got the Legion. I mean, it looks like they're setting up, kind of a Super Friendish setup there. Or the old school Justice League TV show. Not the most recent one, but the one that was like in the early 80s, late 70s. This was a very cool part. Him listening for a scream and trying to zero in on it, and he actually starts listening to, overhears a song that like he says is the most beautiful song he's ever heard. You know, the voice cracks in all the right places. You know, and he actually gets embarrassed that he's listening, he's eavesdropping. He hears the scream again and he takes off. But, you know, and he actually he's like, man, I shouldn't have been doing that. You know, it's kind of like an invasion of privacy. But, you know, I mean, you couldn't help it if you had super hearing, right? But I thought that was kind of a sweet little moment. You know, that it kind of gives you insight into him, you know, that he's like, he's fascinated by us, and he loves the human condition so much. And he goes to a fire. He rescues a little girl, and she's like, holy shit. She's got a couple puppies. She's like, holy shit. And he's like, language, young lady, or, language, please. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he's like, ready, for, stay close. And he uses super breath to blow out all the to kind of put the fire out so he can get out with her. And then he sucks up all the fire and blows it into the sky. Pretty crazy. And then he goes in and starts investigating. And he's like, Dad, what is it? Clark. Dad, what is it? What is that? You okay, Superman? Yes. So, I don't know. He was having a weird memory there. And then they have this scene with this, apparently her name's Melody Moore, and I'm the new deputy fire chief of Metropolis. And they meet, and they're having a little discussion, and she tells him that she thinks it was arson, and and they're having a nice little conversation. And he was like, I picked up a couple bad guys earlier tonight. One happens to be a firebug, so you can look into that. And she's like, nice to meet you, Superman. And she's like, oh no, super hearing. So she was kind of like, enamored with him. And he overheard her. She's like, I thought this is something you don't see very often. A lady actually interested in in a man. A young lady actually interested in a man. And I mean, it was done tastefully, not like a Tinder hookup. And it shows Zor training on this planet. And one of the Guardians of the Universe comes there and talks to him. You're my first visitor here ever. I know who you are. You have news? You certainly found a unique place to live. It keeps me trained, body and mind. And in between the wars, nothing is more important. So this guy trains constantly to be in peak physical condition to battle. He goes from one war to the next. I guess he's kind of like a soldier of fortune, kind of in the space sense, but he just lives for war. He lives for battle. He lives for conflict. This is one made out of our undying respect. The Circle listened and considered your words carefully. It has been decided that your judgment in this matter is concluded by your personal history. The answer is no. So apparently he's got a personal history with Krypton somehow. Maybe it gave him that nasty scar, took his eye maybe. It's important to us all that you know you are not being ignored for all that you've done for this galaxy, the sacrifices you have made. So he's worked for that council, I guess, for a long time. You know, I guess being the military arm of that council. But there's more than one way. We believe that they will rise to the challenge in their new place in the galaxy and act accordingly. Krypton will be left alone. Is it monetary? Have they gotten to you through there? Thank you for your service, Rogozor, but so he's pretty pissed off at this point. And he slams his fist down, and you know he's kind of looks like he's crying. I don't know if he's crying or not. It'd be hilarious if he was. And it has a little bit of him at the Superman at the office here, and he's working on his story. Tell me you're sitting on gold, Kent. I have some arson, Mr. White. Arsons. I'm looking for the, blood-curdling, citywide conspiracy, and you're bringing me arson? Multiple counts, but still arson. Superman was there, according to reports. Hey, Jimmy. Alright. What do you call this? So he uses his position as Superman to go get his stories and stuff. And then it has a little bit of the home life here. Well, son, they call that a growth spurt. Jonathan's asking him, why doesn't my suit fit anymore? He's like, Mom doesn't have time to fix it. He didn't sell it. It was much funnier than when I said it. Of course, she's saying somebody stole a joke from her. The vice president admit to his previously undisclosed financial stake in the Star Labs overseas operations. He's about to. He just doesn't know it. And it kind of leaves on a cliffhanger, and Superman, looks like he's protecting his family. All right, I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. It wasn't. And I think Bendis did the right thing here. He went in there, just sticking his toes in, trying to, get a nice, because Superman has been done a bunch of different ways, and he knows that Superman fans are they're one of the most diehard fans in the world, and he knows if he goes right off the bat and starts chopping major parts off of this mythos or anything like that, that there's going to be hell to pay. So he's trying to put together a very good Superman story, and craft a very good Superman story. And from what I can tell, I think he's going to do it. At least, I'm going to check out the next issue, and we'll see from there. But this was good stuff. This was really good. Man of Steel #1. I liked it a lot. It is a recommend. Go out and get your Man of Steels. Other than that, I'm Cody. This is ComicsDown. Sub, like, comment, bell, Patreon someday. Have a good evening, heroes.